Good day, ladies and gentlemen. By way of introduction, my name is Athanasius. I am a TBA student at California Intercontinental University. Today, I am going to present to you conducting a chi-square test of independence using a software PSPP in fulfillment of my course requirements. And this slide shows you our agenda items for today. There are only 4 items. First, I will start by introducing the presentation. This will be followed by a key of Cramer's V interpretation. I will then present to you the results of the chi-square test of independence. I will then conclude with some important takeaways. The goal of this presentation is to present our findings, significant and non-significant, of chi-square test of independence using PSPP. The dataset used was collected in the US. As a researcher, I was tasked to use the data to demonstrate my ability of conducting a chi-square test of independence between variables. These variables are 1. Number of car payments per month by the participant represented by num cars. 2. Number of defaults incurred by participants represented by num defaults. And 3. Self-reported comfort level of participants with the current financial standing represented by like comfort. One significant result was found from this retest conducted. This slide shows you how to interpret Cramer's V strength of association. You will see this in practice when you present the significant result found or the result where we rejected the null hypothesis. The first chi-square test of independence was conducted to determine a correlation between num cars and num defaults. Our null hypothesis for this test was that there is no correlation between num cars and num defaults, and our alternative hypothesis was that there is one. The result was x squared is equal to 6,68 and p is equal to 0,351. Given that our p-value is greater than alpha, we accepted our null hypothesis and concluded that there is no relationship between the variables. The second chi-square test of independence was conducted to determine a correlation between like comfort and number of defaults. Our null hypothesis for this test was that there is no correlation between like comfort and num defaults, and our alternative hypothesis was that there is one. The result was x squared is equal to 6,68 and p is equal to 0,351. Given that our p-value is greater than alpha, we accepted our null hypothesis and concluded that there is no relationship between the variables. Our last test was conducted to determine a correlation between num cars and like comfort. Our null hypothesis for this test was that there is no relationship between num cars and like comfort, and our alternative hypothesis was that there is one. The result was x squared is equal to 450 and p is equal to 0. Given that our p-value is lower than alpha, we rejected our null hypothesis. To determine the strength of association, we used Cramer's V interpretation. In the test, Cramer's V was 1, which means that there is a perfectly symmetric relationship. Using the table presented earlier on, it states that this is a very rare result and that the independent variable perfectly predicts the dependent variable. The table also advises us to call our professor. I will conclude by stating some important takeaways. The first one is that PSPP can perform chi-square test of independence. The second one is that Kramer's V interpretation can be used to further understand the strength of association if the null hypothesis is rejected. Lastly, it is not as difficult as it seems. Thank you for watching my presentation. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.